Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, let me assure everyone out there, especially our extremely worried parents out here, that everyone is safe. Every child is safe. Matter of fact, seconds ago, I just learned that the threat that we had has been totally unfounded. We had a student who notified one of the teachers that as she was on her way back from the bathroom, she saw a man, unknown male subject, carrying a gun all dressed in black. So at that point, they notified the school resource deputy. I think to say I'm ecstatic with the response would be an understatement, as tragic as this is for the students that just had to endure the entire process of what happens when we go into lockout at a school, and I'll explain that in a second. The good news is that every child's safe and that the threat's been unfounded, and most importantly, that the deputy responded to the last known area where the subject was less than 30 seconds later. Moments after that, the entire campus was flooded with Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies and school resource officers, school security officers at both campuses. As you can see in today's conditions, even less than favorable conditions, our aviation wanted to take the opportunity to come out and provided a downlink and was immediately overhead. So we felt confident at the time that as time progressed that this threat was going to be unfounded. And like I said, our detectives doing a wonderful job here just learned that the subject was being deceptive and totally fabricated the entire story. So we're still working that angle. So what's happening now? We're transitioning now from lockout to lockdown. Even without knowing that this threat was unfounded, what we were in the process of doing right now is having all the students come to the auditorium where they were being screened through metal detectors. We were feeding the children. We were sweeping the rooms to make sure that there wasn't a gun located in their room, and then transitioning the children back to the classrooms. So that process now, in just a moment or two, will be modified once again to where all the students will be allowed back to the room. So our canines and school security officers and our school deputies, our school resource deputies will now stop their search and help facilitate all the kids after lunch get back to their classrooms safely. So again, we will take a look at this now, look at our response, see how it was handled, see if there was anything that we needed to do different or need to do different, where we can improve. But again, I'm ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic with the response, how prompt it was, how timely, and how efficient it was.
Was there anything about, almost 1 year ago today, about the Parkland incident that modified the way that you approach this today?
It absolutely did. We knew that we're a day away from Stoneman Douglas, so everyone's biggest fear would be a copycat. So our response would still be the same, but you certainly are going to investigate that threat and to every extent that threat, just to try to make sure it's unfounded because of that reason.
Can you speak to anything that was done differently or in a different manner from previous policy because of that incident?
Everything's been transitioned, and even more recently with the release that came out from the committee that met. I mean, we're constantly doing everything we can to harden the schools, the way we respond to a threat, the way we investigate social media threats. So we're constantly modifying the way that we approach any type of school-based threat.
Not too long ago, when these started to be a pattern, more of a pattern, we're talking about shootings in schools, the sheriff's office got real tough on cracking down on false reports. What can happen to this kid, and how do you, look at all the money that you guys spent to bring in deputies and check this out and disrupted everyone's day. What could happen to this child?
This student will most likely be charged with a felony for making a false threat. And as large of an advocate as I am to keeping our young people out of the criminal justice system with all the diversion programs, all our preventive programs, this is one area where I'm not willing to compromise. There's no room no room for any type of entertainment, joke, any type of made-up threat. I think that the only way to handle this is by taking a hardline stance and making sure all of our children know, all of our young people know that if you make a school-based threat, it's no different than making a threat in an airport or in an airplane. It's going to be followed to the fullest extent. And as you alluded to, look at the resources, the amount of money, the manpower that's been expensed here today. It's a shame that somebody chose to take an opportunity knowing that the anniversary of Stoneman Douglas is rapidly approaching to make such a false threat.
And how do you make that determination? I'm assuming that there's surveillance video and stuff so you can see what he or she may have seen and determine whether or not there was a reasonable suspicion, I guess, for lack of a better word?
All the above, but in this case, she has just admitted that she fabricated the entire story.
How many people did you have to put through the metal detector? Everybody? Hundreds?
Every single person, I believe, and don't hold me to the numbers, I believe it's 1,200 students. You know, the shame of it is from a law enforcement standpoint, you're in favor of the entire process because you know everyone's safe. And at the end of the day, that's all you're worried about. As a parent, it concerns me and it's heart-wrenching the fact that 1,200 students just had to go on lockout, which means they had to barricade in place as we stormed the campus. You know, that's traumatic that these children have to go through that, and it's absolutely intolerable.
What was the children's reaction when this all started?
They were cooperative, but as you could imagine, as any child, I think me as an adult, if it happened, regardless of where we are, we're going to feel that panic, and I think all these kids were stricken with panic. Without a doubt.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.